All right, let's jump straight into this explainer and unpack the massive emotional and physical fallout from the battle at the Guard in Session 5. If you've been following along, you know the climax of Session 4 was just a brutal clash. I mean, the party literally had to fight one of their own when Zarathos went totally berserk. So today, we're looking at the immediate, frankly, devastating aftermath of that encounter to see exactly where our heroes stand right now. And spoiler alert, they are absolutely not standing tall.
Yeah, the immediate threat is gone, but the deep psychological wounds, the completely fractured state of the party, that's really just beginning to surface. We are definitely not looking at a triumphant victory lap here. We're looking at a group of individuals who are physically exhausted, emotionally compromised, and just fundamentally separated from one another by the incredibly heavy consequences of what just went down.
So, here's a quick look at exactly how we'll trace the disparate journeys of our divided party. We'll start with the aftermath at Nomengard, see how Boris seeks his redemption, and dive into Redir's internal circus. Then we'll check out Vitrovia's lunar sanctuary, follow the journey to Karag, and finally uncover some major Brightblade Ironx secrets.
Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, the aftermath at Nomengard. The dust has barely settled, the adrenaline is fading, and they get hit with an absolutely terrifying reality check. 4. That's the number. Harbin Wester hits them up on a sending stone and reveals that 4 entire days have passed in Fandolin. Right. So Raphael's infernal planar shift, the one he used to broadcast their fight to the Nine Hells, actually caused severe time dilation. For the party, it's only been 2 days. That means they just lost 48 critical hours in their race to prepare for the regional threats bearing down on them. Time is literally slipping through their fingers, and they are in no shape to fight.
Which brings us to Section 2, Boris seeks his redemption. As the party's cleric, Boris's whole identity is built around healing and protecting, right? But the events at Nomengard have fundamentally shattered his sense of self. He is completely paralyzed by 2 absolutely devastating truths. First, the accidental manslaughter. In the chaos of the battle, friendly fire led to Boris accidentally killing the gnome healer, Zook. And if that wasn't a heavy enough burden, he's also dealing with some traumatic revelations. Because Raphael broadcasted that hit show Devil Riders, Boris was forced to watch Redir perform a penance stare on his former sea captain, literally setting the man's ship ablaze. So Boris realizes the guy he's been traveling with is directly responsible for his deepest personal trauma.
Crushed by all of this, Boris simply cannot move forward with the rest of the group. But what's really fascinating is how he chooses to handle it. Instead of going back out adventuring, he stays behind in Gamingard. He sets his weapon down and fully dedicates his clerical magic to healing the injured gnomes. He's choosing to spend his time making reparations and rebuilding that broken trust. It's this incredibly powerful moment of accountability.
Meanwhile, moving into Section 3, Redir's internal circus.
While Boris is dealing with his external penance, Redir is facing an incredibly dangerous kind of isolation. It's a total split between physical and mental reality. To his friends on the outside, Redir's body lies completely incapacitated, like he is in a severe coma. But inside his mind, it is an active, chaotic, high-stakes negotiation literally taking place inside a childhood circus tent. Kid Redir, who is essentially the demon monk Zog, has finally been allowed off the bench, and he is forcing a very weakened Zarathos to the negotiating table. They have to strike a bargain because the physical vessel is just too broken to wake up while his mind is this fragmented.
And the local apothecary, Adabra Gwyn, confirms this grim reality. She says he has to battle his inner demons to have any chance to wake up again, noting it could take weeks or months. Think about the gravity of that. Modern magic and medicine can't fix this. Redir alone has to solve this internal power struggle. And weeks or months? Come on, that is time the party absolutely does not have right now.
So what are they going to do? Let's get into Section 4, Vitrovia's lunar sanctuary.
Faced with a totally comatose ally and a ticking clock, Vitrovia decides to make a massive and honestly potentially compromising sacrifice. Step 1, she brings Redir right into her moon energy pocket dimension bag. Step 2, that pure lunar energy gets to work, accelerating his physical and mental purification. But here's the kicker, Step 3. Doing this severely risks exposing and destabilizing her own secret mission. Remember, she's part of a marginalized circle of tiefling druids trying to pull off an environmental restoration involving the Golthius tree. By bringing a volatile, demon-infused guy like Redir into her sanctuary, she's risking her life's work. It is a huge display of loyalty and an unbelievable gamble.
All right, shifting gears to Section 5, Journey to Karag Lab. With Boris staying behind and Reader literally packed away in a magical bag, Whiffer and Vitrovia have to push forward on their own. The pivot happens when Whiffer is inspecting his new Brightblade gear from the Gnome engineers. He spots this faded stamp reading Proto-CX Karag Lab. Luckily, thanks to their dwarven prospector buddy Dazzlin Greyshard, they find out Karag is dwarvish for volcano. Boom! This points them straight to the Neverwinter volcano, finally giving Whiffer a tangible lead on his missing parents and their secretive R&D work.
But, of course, the journey is anything but easy. They track the base of the volcano to an old logger camp where they run into Tibor Wester, a former Baldur's Gate commander trying to secure funds for a town militia. Suddenly, they're ambushed by ankhegs. These are massive, heat-seeking insect monsters that burrow through the ground. It's a brutal fight, but Whiffer and Vitrovia manage to take down the creatures and rescue a heavily injured Tibor. And honestly, securing an ally with real military leadership might be a huge win for them down the line.
Finally, we hit Section 6, Brightblade Iron X Secrets. Surviving those giant bugs allows Whiffer to finally uncover the buried legacy he's been looking for. And the way he gets in is so cool. Step 1, he brings his family's Brightblade sword charm near a hidden floor hatch. Step 2, it acts like an arcane key, sending glowing light racing through the floor's arcane lines. Step 3, a hidden handle pops out, granting them access to a deeply buried, hurriedly evacuated R&D lab. Down there in the dark, they find just a single chest left behind, but its contents are totally game-changing. First, the weapon, an incredible Brightblade prototype energy sword. Second, the message, a deeply personal video log from Mila, Whiffer's mother. Hearing her voice after all this time is just, wow, it's exactly the connection he needed. And third, the clue, research logs pointing to a second, completely undiscovered facility. Because Mila's final message drops a terrifying truth. She says the research logs indicate this was only a testing ground, and the real work, the real danger, lies ahead in Lab Usluch. This volcano outpost was literally just a stepping stone. The truly dangerous, forbidden bioarcane experiments that tore his family apart happened somewhere else entirely. Which leaves us with one massive lingering question. What other dark truths are waiting in Lab Usluch? As our broken party tries to heal in their own totally separate ways, Boris making amends, Raider fighting a war in his own mind, and Petrovia risking everything to keep him stable, you really have to wonder, when they finally reunite and push forward, are they going to be ready for the horrors waiting for them at Lab Usluch? I guess we're going to find out. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.